for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Posting in accordance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Codes Amendment, known as the Texas Open Meetings Act. This time, any members of the public who wish to speak shall each have 5 minutes to address the court.
Good morning, Judge Grant, Commissioners. Good morning. I'd like to speak concerning the OLPS issue that we've been talking about for quite some time, but we've never put it on the agenda to discuss it in this commission. I would request that they be added to the agenda for us to discuss it because there's so much happening in this county with respect to death and harm to our people. I've got a list of 10 people who have been killed in this county because of noise. On January the 6th this year, my whole house was rumbling and shaking so bad that my bed was doing this one for me. It quite totally off the bed. But the noise was horrible. This should not be happening to our citizens. They didn't hurt me because I had all my protective gear on, which is about 80 protective covers. I shouldn't have to sleep under that, but I do because it's a necessity to keep them from killing me. There were numerous attempts on my life. I've been to the hospital 3 times because of this noise. Brain damage in 2007. Brain damage and later on, I've been to different meetings about trying to get this information out. I spoke to the National Private Attack Conference in 2013. 500 people there from 30 different states in the United States. 3 weeks to the day after I spoke, the oil and gas people tried to kill me. How did they do that? With compressor station noise. I had to jump and run. My blood pressure was 214 over 112. Immediate stroke stage. Nobody deserves to be treated in this manner. And it's happening all over Freestone County. We're number 8 in number of gas wells instead of Texas. That ought to tell you something. This is happening everywhere over Texas. 27 counties, I've sent letters to the county attorneys making them aware of this problem. And those that I have called to follow up on didn't even know they had the letter, although it was signed on a document saying they got it. So we can no longer just throw this off to the side. We have to address it. There's too many people being affected. I estimate that out of 27 counties, that there's going to be 2.6 million people in Texas are severely harmed or killed. We can't stand that. And I know you did send a letter, our county attorney sent a letter to the state attorney general, who just washed his hands of it, in effect saying, hey, I want to gas to put out all the noise they want to. Think about your house. If they put out all the noise they wanted to about your house, or your house, it's at my house. A compressor station 9/10 of a mile from my house. And this noise can travel 6 to 8 miles. We've got to address it. The federal government says the states have the authority and the county attorneys have the authority to take care of this. They've delegated that authority to us. They washed their hands of
To
it.
the states and local governments, that's correct.
State and local governments. We need to pick that up.
Local governments, or the state, actually, we talked about this many times.
It's not just the state.
Has created the Railroad Commission and TCEQ to address issues. It was not given by our Constitution or by our legislature directly to the counties. And unless it is, we cannot address it.
Well,
I'm sympathetic, but
Well,
we have looked at this 1,000 times. We have.
well, who are local governments? It's not just the state. Your local government, right here. Every county can take this up. You don't think so?
I don't. I think it has to be given to us by the legislature or by the Constitution. Each state has a different constitution as to what can be done. And in county government, we have to follow the Constitution and the legislature.
Okay, so we can take it to whom? We're gonna take it to the governor? We could. It's such an important issue in the whole state of Texas that, and the governor signed the bill, House Bill 18. But the interpretation is wrong, just absolutely wrong by our state attorney general. He didn't even address the part that says we gotta protect our people, in his opinion. So we've got to do something. We've got to agree on what we need to do to protect our people.
It's 5 minutes. And let me just read this, that the court may not deliberate or take action on any item that is not posted. Any discussion of the subject must be limited to providing specific factual information, and that's basically what all I've given you this morning is the factual information that we have and that we can talk about.
We need to talk about it some more.
If you can bring me something different, then we'll look at it again.
I'll bring the federal
I
that
read
says
that.
you can fine them up to $10,000 per day.
I've read that, Mr. Walker.
We need to address that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Judge Grant, I would like to introduce my new deputy treasurer, Holly King, to everyone, and just, she can see y'all's face, and y'all can see her. She'll be doing our payroll and proceeding in my office. Thank you.
Thank you. We're glad to have you. Thank you. Anyone else? If not, we'll go to item number 1, which is approve the minutes of the May 4th regular meeting.
because I see a line drawn through number 9. I have it on my computer. I guess we accidentally made a copy of the wrong, or maybe the one I have. Does your number 9 look like that? No?
No.
No, I think we have the correct one.
You
Yeah,
do?
we got the correct one.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I I have the first one. I don't know how that happened. I just want to make sure you had the correct one.
You want my copy of what we have?
I have it on my computer. I can print another one out. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, May 4th, 2022, regular meeting.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Item number 2 is budget transfers and amendments. One sheet.
Make a motion to approve the budget transfer amendments. I'll second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Number three is to approve and pay the bills. Is there a motion on the payroll?
We haven't done the payroll yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in it.
We have a motion to approve oh, that's the fourth one, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Number 3, approve and pay bills.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget bills.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Item number 4 is to approve payroll.
I'll make a motion to approve. Second, but I have a question about election workers. Will we get that back since it's school and city? Will we be revert?
Yes.
Will we get that money back?
Yes, we get
Reimbursed.
reimbursed.
Thank you, sir. Reimbursed for that? from
Yeah.
them?
Yes, sir.
So then when that comes back, will that go back into what?
491, 611, 491.
I shouldn't ask that question, should I? So it will be, we will get that money back.
We will get it back. I'm not sure it'll be credited to that account, but it will come into the general fund.
What's that other, we have another fund that's,
You have a fund, but that's it, yeah. Do you, when you do receive that money, do you just put it in as revenue? You don't credit it to that account?
Right.
Right, I thought that's the way.
I was just thinking, will we need some when we have the next election?
We will, but we're gonna have to transfer that out of contingency. It's just an accounting
It's just
thing.
a-
Ask Karen. There you go. It all works out the same. It's just the way that we have to.
I understand, I
Yeah.
just.
Thank you. Okay, good. Don't make me explain. All right.
We have a motion and a second, we vote, don't
Thank you.
we? No,
No, I appreciate it. I was thinking, where are we at? Yeah, before we had a question.
Just me.
All in favor, aye. I appreciate that.
I wasn't, don't take that the wrong way.
Oh, I don't, believe me, because I've asked. Item number 5 is reports. I'm a little tired this morning, so I need help.
I understand.
I have a report from the auditor for April. We also have the treasurer's report, which is based on the auditor's report, and it is for April also. I sign this, you want me to pass it on to her and then you'll get a copy of it?
That's fine.
Or get it? Okay. Also have county clerk for April report. District clerk April report. DP3 April report. Extension report for April, and also in this report, it shows the plans for May. Senior services report for April. Shows the number of congregate meals and homebound meals, a total of 2,238 meals for April. And then their activities. Bingo, if you'd like to attend. And then meetings and various things. Any other reports from anyone?
Make a motion to approve.
Accept.
Accept.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Item number 6, burn ban.
If it doesn't rain, we'll have to do something, hopefully this weekend, so.
No action at this time. No action. Special road use agreements. Anyone have one? Not, we'll go, that's no action. Go to number 8, to approve bonds and education certificates. I have,
Several, Judge, that's the ones I missed last week. Those,
we'll get them right now.
that's
Thank you.
good, thank you.
Okay. We have cyber security awareness training. Kimberly Seiler, Melissa Grissett, Jamie Phillips, Michael Dunn, Delynn Chapp, Marissa Minch, excuse me, Dan Ralston, Harley Hornick, Michelle Wynn, Lori Bosley, Karen Moore, Amanda Garderman, Keith Award. Those are cybersecurity awareness. Public Information Act training for Will, and Open Meetings Act training for Will. Does anyone else have any bonds or education certificates? If not, do we have a motion to accept those?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Number 9 is to canvass the May constitutional amendment elections. For the constitutional amendments, total number of voters was 1,580 and 3 provisional. For was 1,246, against 261. That's for Proposition 1 and 2, same number. No, I'm sorry. That's 2. Proposition 2 was the 1,246 for and the 261 against. Proposition 1 was 1,309 for and 193 against. And the same number of total voters. That's good. Now we had, the ballot and seal certificates for early voting. I guess that's Fairfield, and then this other one is T. This didn't say Fairfield. What it is. And that early voting is 259 and 568. Add those up. Do that. Okay. All right, for the joint election, on election day, Fairfield 1 is 280. And then the joint election, precinct 8 is 99. Is 35. 5. 202. And 7 is 56. There's sticky notes on the bottom of these little blue ones that show what was for each actual voting box, because there was consolidated.
Yes.
Okay. And you ready? 280, 99, 35, 202, and 56. What'd you get?
672.
672. Okay, and that's on voting day, and then we had the 827 early vote. Can you add that to it? 1499. And we had 3 provisionals, is all I saw. All right, so I am 81 off if I'm looking at that right. And I certainly may not be. Okay, we only had 5 places open, is that right? For
Yes,
voting
yes,
day,
on E-Day, yes, ma'am.
election day. Okay, I've probably done something wrong here. Because I'm supposed to come up with 1580, right?
Ma'am?
I'm supposed to come up with 1580,
Yes, ma'am.
okay?
$78. Right?
Well, and see, we have 3 provisionals, so I don't know how that works in.
That's the county those. I counted those. and it comes-
Okay, do you count the
1502.
provisionals?
Yes, ma'am, the 3.
Add those 3 in to what we've got?
Yes,
here?
ma'am.
Okay, if we did that,
1502.
That's 1503, isn't it?
Two.
2.
yeah, 1502. And then the total we have on here is 1580.
1580.
1499 and 4.
Can we go back to that, all the other ones again, just to make sure?
I tell you what, why don't you just see all these little stickies on the
Yes,
bottom?
ma'am.
Well, I don't think that'll work, because I think the early voting is all in
Early
this by, and see, we don't have these by broken down.
That's 280 right there.
In my, you can
Yeah.
check it again in my head, I added it.
Well, I wrote it down, I'm just,
Yeah, see, it's 280 here,
yeah,
and then these little stickers
should have.
add up,
that.
add up to that.
99,
And then I have 2 places for early voting, which is 580, 568, and 259, which makes 827.
Mm-hmm.
So I added 827 to that.
It's 202. Yeah, that all that, the same number you give us.
Come look and see if I'm missing something. Or reading something wrong. What I'm trying to do is come up with this 1580 that we have here. Now, since we don't have a separate thing for early voting, it's all together, so that 827 is added in to these
Yes.
variously, so we can't really
Yes.
track that.
So, yeah, and I also have precinct by precinct broken down here, I put the date on there, I forgot to change it, I didn't give you what it is either. But this is the total balance in each precinct that was cast for that, if you want to look at that.
Oh, well, see, that
That
is the same as this.
Okay.
We can check that, we're still,
Are we sure we have precinct 8, and precinct 15 in our totals? Because that would be 78, 68. We're looking for 78 votes. Do we?
all right,
Would y'all
on here,
listen?
Precinct 9 and 15, right? Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
9 and 15.
9 and 15 is 78.
Would be 78 if we don't have them already tallied in there.
all right, we had,
I've never seen a 60 out of 18, it's 50.
mm-mm,
For you?
mm-mm.
We added them up, there wasn't a 60, they're missing those two.
All right, how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we had 5 places open, and what's the number that you said?
Oh,
9 and 15.
9 and 15 would be 78, and that's
All
just,
right, 9, and here's 9,
There's 9.
no, that's 9 votes, we're looking for 9 here.
1, 2, 3,
That's the two right there, you had to pick that again.
Here's 9,
6.
31.
This is early voting.
how many do you have on 9?
we're showing 60 over here. Total
Well, but
votes.
see, that includes early voting,
Right.
so this is just
15
election
was
day.
in with 1 and 2. 15 was in with,
Okay, so those numbers are
With one and two.
conservative.
so where's 1 at? 1, 1, 2,
2,
15.
15.
This one here.
That's 9
She said
votes.
35.
Okay.
And
13.
These little stickies add up to this amount. These 3 add up to that, these, and those.
It's
But then when
24
you add them
on the paper.
together, it
That's
doesn't come up with
early
this
ballots.
That 1580.
Or, yeah.
1580. So
She said 35, remember we had 35 right here? She
Mhm.
said 35, that'd be 39.
they're on
That's, I
here.
thought you got early votes on
All
this.
right, let's do
This is
this.
35,
Let's do
we got early
this.
votes, and then
Okay.
Because I have it.
here's our early votes over here.
I'm telling you, I'm not doing
Eight
it.
and
No.
7.
Then here's
All
two
right.
ballots that
All right, let's look, do we have, you look at these. Box 1, box 2,
How many we missing now?
you have box 3,
78.
3, 3, 4, 4,
4, 5, 6, 7, Who's got
8,
8?
I've got
I
8,
got 9 and 10.
11, I've got,
We don't have
do you
12.
have 12?
No, we don't have a 12. We
Those
got
13,
13.
15.
Oh, we don't have a 12.
13.
I've got 13.
We don't have a 14, and we've got
And
15.
then 15.
So we got 99 here.
Mhm.
2, 35, 2, 2,
Did you add those up? Let's add it up again.
Let me have,
You got it?
now let me have,
99,
okay,
280,
okay,
35,
okay.
202,
202,
and
It's-
56.
Mhm.
$672.
All right, now, add to that 259,
269?
59,
259.
and 568. Isn't that correct? That you add these two, because these are two early votes.
68.
568.
Right.
What'd you get?
1499.
$14.99.
And then we have the 3 provisionals. Okay, do we have to do this within a certain length of time? Today.
1402.
I'll take it back.
Okay, then we'll go ahead and work with the rest of what we've got to do, and then we'll come back, love.
1502.
I may just be looking at something wrong here, if you'll, we have all this to do.
And I'll run back just need that, that's all I need, thank you.
Number 10, property coverage renewal for tax. That would be you, Ms. Karen.
It went up a little bit this year. It was 45 last year. It went up to 53. So, the old jail museum, you know, we put that new building on there. I can't remember what that Little John building. So the value went up, it doubled. So that went up, our premium $1,373. Our equipment, we added a couple several pieces of expensive equipment. That took it up another $2,111, and then the rest of it, it was just $5,000. It just went up. So we pay a total of $46,002 for our buildings that we insure, and we pay $7,806 for all of our equipment, which is a lot of equipment.
It's very cheap.
All right, do we have a motion?
So we're going to 53,808,
Yes.
make a motion to go to 53,808. Manager,
And continue with TAC for
with tax.
property coverage renewal.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Number 11, law enforcement agency application for participating in the state plan of operations between the state and Freestone County Sheriff's Office. What can you tell us about that?
Doesn't cost the county anything. It's an agreement between us and the federal government. If they have equipment, as long as we're in that agreement, we can obtain that equipment.
If they have something that we need, and
Yes, ma'am.
that's the authority we need.
Need a motion?
I was just having a motion, we participate in the state plan of operations. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Item number 12 is to consider a lease agreement between Freestone County Adult Probation and CWBP for a copy machine. Now, is this, a lease agreement on the machine you already have?
No, ma'am. I think every 5 years our contract is up, and so our 5 years is up. And to renew the lease, actually it's going down $30. We didn't use as many copies over the 5-year period. They're going to bring us a new copy machine, provide maintenance, ink, everything for $111 a month for 5 years. The only thing different is that the $30, it was $141, it's gone down to $111. Like I said, we didn't use as much paper copies, so they reduced it by $30 a month. So it's just time to renew.
We have a motion?
Make that motion. Second.
And we did have the 1295, we were talking about that, yes, we did. All in favor, aye? Any opposed? None, motion carried. Item number 13 is a request for capital credits under the local government code, section 381. Instead of these local. Jeannie, do you want to talk about that?
So, basically, every year, I have to ask y'all for permission to go out for the capital credits, and that's utility deposits and stuff that's been turned over to the state that hasn't been claimed, and if there's any out there, we have to put in a application for it. They haven't released the application for May. I went ahead and got y'all a copy of what last year's looked like and what we've done in the past, and how much we've gotten and who we've given it to. But we go out for it.
First, we had to decide up front who we were going to give it to, but now we don't have to decide until we get the funds, is that
Yeah,
right?
as far as I know, that's how,
Yeah.
when we get the funds, it,
All right, do we have a motion to request those capital credits?
I'll make a motion. Second.
Discussion. All in favor, aye? Any opposed? None, motion carried. Item number 14 is to transfer a Canon image runner copier from the tax office to the election administrator's office.
So
Last fall, we entered into an agreement, my office and CTWP, for a lease machine. Prior to that, we owned our copy machine and paid $65 a month service agreement. And for about $95 a month, $30 more, I could have a brand new machine that's leased. And it had better scanning abilities was the main reason I wanted to upgrade. Plus the machine is 10 years old. So we entered into that in the fall. It got delivered a few weeks ago due to supply chain issues. And so we're just now being able to use that. So I have the extra copier that is owned by the county. And it still works, it's just dated, but I wanted to see if we could transfer it to the election administrator's office because they have a copy machine. She could either just use it as is or maybe try to get a maintenance contract on it, but it's been a pretty good workhorse.
We used to just train your other officers and whatever, but since Karen is keeping up with the inventory there, we are doing this to show where do we have a motion?
No, there's no room in there,
They can hold it, we're working on a plan, they can hold it.
but I'll make a motion again.
I'll say.
All in favor? Any opposed? That motion carried. Item 15 is to consider computer system lease or license agreement between the Bridgetown County Tax Office and Richard and Harris.
It's time to possibly renew a 2-year contract with Richard and Abbott. The county's been a customer of Richard and Abbott for probably since the 90s.
Well, we at one time decided we could get a little better deal from somebody else. We changed for 1 year, it's been a while back, but anyway, it was a disaster. So then we went back to them and we stayed with them since.
Okay. I'm not sure what's on your packet. Just for what it's worth, I included some slides that look like this, just to kind of show you what our world looks like, what the software does. We use it for property tax collections, and I picked the courthouse as the account here.
I'm passing those around now.
And it's something we use for every day with the property tax collections. The main screen, which is the account, general information, the taxes tab shows what taxes you do. It's all zeros because the courthouse is exempt from property taxes. Posting screen, and then a report screen. It has a lot of features. All the reports I run are part of their software that you see from my report to you monthly. They are going up for 22-23. It works out to be a 3% increase, $3,690 increase, a little over $900 a quarter. If this is approved, I'll have to spend $900 more on July, but I believe I've got money to cover that in other places in my budget. I didn't budget for that in that bucket, but I think we'll be okay as far as that goes. I did talk with them about the increase. It's more than what I look back at our previous contracts. It's quite a bit more, usually about a 1% increase in the past. And they're just citing, as we all know, the costs of business is going up. They handle our hardware. I'd like to tell you what all Richard Abbott does for us. They're our collection software, of which we have several licenses for, 9 actually, one for every employee, 8. One for every employee and one for the attorneys. Our software, they do customer support. I can send a ticket anytime. It's answered within minutes. I can get someone on the phone. They host our email, and they host a website for us. I know I have a section on the county website, but we also have a Pritchard and Abbott website, which is our official website where all of our required postings and stuff goes. Their hardware, we're moving. There's still probably 2 computers in our office that are county owned, but we're moving to the direction, and with this next contract, where we'll be basically leasing all of our computers from them. So they handle that, which is nice, and that's what's unique about Pritchard and Abbott compared to some of the competitors, is that they handle the software and the hardware. So there's not a lot of finger pointing. It's on the hardware side, it's on the software side. So it's nice that it's all theirs. If there's a problem, they'll get it figured out. And hardware support and overlap conversions. Rivera County and Limestone County Oklahoma ISD goes into Limestone County and America County, has Fairfield ISD, Fairfield Hospital District, and they use different computer systems or different licenses. So they do a 1 year, every year they do a conversion from that computer environment to Pritchard and Abbott, which has to happen for the collections. So that's what they do for us. It is a 2-year contract, a 3% increase for 22-23, and it worked out to be a 2.5% increase for 23-24. So we want to stay with them. This is what they proposed. Any other questions, I'll try to answer them.
Pretty expensive, but I know they all are.
I don't know of anything that's not gonna go up. So this would take us all the way through, this time in 2024, will be a 2-year.
You have the $12.95. We do have the $12.95. Any questions, any discussion?
I make a motion, we accept the lease license agreement between Bridgestone County Tax Office, Pritchard and Abbott, and tax collection software 22 through 24.
Second.
Any discussion?
One thing, if I may add, I forgot, Brian has looked over the language of the contract, and he sent me a text that he wouldn't be here today, so he said everything was fine on his end. So.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. We'll take a short recess.
Can we do commissioner comments right quick?
We sure can.
I just like to thank the sheriff's department, Devin, you and the sheriff, Jeremy, for getting me some trustees to go out and work last Saturday. I really do appreciate the jail staff was very accommodating and did an excellent job. And also to the adult probation office for getting some of their people to come and help with with my county cleanup. It's a Freestone County cleanup that I hold up at the lake, and it was a big success as always. And I appreciate y'all giving me some help. I really do. It helped a lot. Thank you all.
Anything else? All right, we're going to take a short break.